This is a tool for my Arlington class, and I hope there's enough for everybody, but sometimes when I have an unmated string in a grand piano, I don't want to take everything apart and get in and block it with my finger like we would normally do underneath. I'll stick this through the strings, lift it up, block it against the strings, and see if that hammer is fitted to the strings. So if you hear bump, bump, ring, then you know that you have to do a little bit of needling or something to level that out a little bit. Now, if I stick a needle under the groove from the side, I'm not going in the groove, but I'm going by the side of the groove, that will puff up the inside of the groove enough that it will mate the string many times. So you can come over here and you can go under like that, or you can come from the front. That will also do it. It's almost what they call an angel shot. We're only wanting to bring up, let's say, one or two of these string grooves, so we don't want to poke everything. And I don't want to go inside necessarily, because that's going to do something different in voicing. Go under like this, or go from the front. You're going through the strings, remember, so you can only get where you can get. So you're going to go through here like this. Let's say that I'm going from this side over here. I'm going to get close to that string groove, go under it, and that's going to puff the felt up right there in the string groove. Let's see what it looks like when I'm actually doing it in a piano. But remember, this is when I don't have much time, or I just want to fix one little note without having to take the action out. The sound is just a little bit whiny. It's unmated. The right string is the one that I need to raise up a little bit, so I'm going to poke the needle through the strings, raise that felt up just a little bit right there, and mate it. Let's see how it sounds. That's a little bit better. Now let's make a jab or a stitch from the other side, raise it a little bit more. Now the sound may not come off like this in the recording, but it's a much better tone. Now it's a very simple tool. It's very simple, but you don't want to have a hook on it like I've seen some people have hooks, a rounded kind of hook. You want it flat because you want that shank to be lifted straight up, and if it's a hook you can pull it one way or the other, and you don't want to do that. You want to go straight down and straight up. So don't lift it from the side or do anything like that. You're going to get a false reading. Now I need to say too that you're going to use blocking technique most of the time instead of this tool. But if you learn how to use this tool, it's a very effective way to make hammers to strings. I'm not a real fan of putting the cloth under the knuckles and pushing from the key, because with a 5-to-1 ratio or 1-to-5 ratio, it's not as accurate. And so when people do that, I go through and I listen how they mated the strings, doing it by blocking and listening. I realize that when they use the cloth, sometimes it's not as accurate as if you lift with your finger. So this tool also can be inaccurate if you pull it one way or the other. So what I recommend is take this tool, raise the hammer, block the strings, mate the hammers to strings, then go back and conventionally lift that, block that hammer with your finger, and then listen and see how good you were. It takes some practice. Don't just think you're going to learn this and do it in 1 second. It doesn't work that way. Practice and do a dozen hammers, and you'll start seeing how to use this tool effectively.